Miggy fucking 3000. I was there. I can't believe it. For those of you longtime listeners, or at least as of last summer to In the Hole, you might remember that I had a chance last summer to see Miggy hit his 500th home run. The random chance. I bought tickets early in the summer for August game, and it happened to be that when that game arrived, Miggy was on 499 home runs. And not only did he not get his 500th home run, the Tigers only had one hit, and that wasn't until the 7th inning, which was the most exciting thing I've ever seen in my life because there was absolutely nothing to root for in that entire game. As they were down 11-0 in the 2nd inning. Hitting Harold finally broke up the no-hitter on Tristan McKenzie in the 7th. But so I was fearful. Well, I'll back up a little bit. I mentioned last week there was a chance after my huge rant against the evil Aaron Boone and the evil Yankees walking Cabrera.
Yes.
Intentionally walking him on Thursday, just before episode 98. There was an outside chance that the next day would be rained out Friday night, and indeed it was, which gave me the chance to see hit number 3000. Another random occurrence. Family friend got a promotional email from the Tigers in January, I think, when we were still in the middle of the lockout, where you could buy $20 tickets with no fees, just in a hope that somebody would buy some fucking tickets in April. I told him go ahead, but I doubted there was going to be a game anytime in April because I assumed the lockout was going to drag on until the middle of the summer. Fortunately, I was totally wrong. Bought the tickets, and even more fortunate than that, happened to show up on the day Miggy hit his 3000th hit. We left I'm in Lansing about 90 minutes from Detroit, so we were going to leave about 10:30 to get there at noon for the 1:00 game. A family friend who's driving suggests we leave at 10:15 just because it might be a little bit crazy down there. Little did we know it was more crazy than we thought because the Red Wings happened to be playing at the exact same time. So Detroit was a complete mess downtown. We left, almost 2 hours. Well, we left 3 hours before game time. And I barely got to my seats maybe 10 minutes before the game started. Somehow the Ilitches own both the Tigers and the Red Wings, yet they couldn't figure out their schedule that they should not be playing at the exact same time in downtown Detroit. Traffic was just a fucking nightmare. It took 45 minutes to move 1 mile after we got off the highway to get to the actual stadium. So that was stressful. I don't know about you, but I like to get to ball games early. Like when
I do, I like to be able to get in. I like to be at my seats at least 10 minutes before the first pitch is thrown. Like in the ballpark, I can grab stuff and whatever, but as long as I'm at my seats about 10 minutes before someone throws the first pitch, I'm good. If I'm walking down there and the team's running out in the field and I'm not in my seat yet, I'm fucking annoyed.
Yeah, it was bad.
Welcome to the Grandpa Podcast. Get out of my way. I gotta get to my seat.
Well, I think it's a privileged podcast because I lived a mile from Wrigley Field for 20 years. So I would just walk. I'd walk over and get my bleacher seat 2 hours before the game even started. Start drinking beer.
It's a shame the rickshaw never happened.
Yes. So I always get there an hour early. I like to find my seat. If I have a numbered ticket, I like to find my seat first, get a little bit settled, then go up and get food. Get that all taken care of well before the national anthem, well before first pitch, everything else. But this, of course, is paramount on the day where Miggy could hit his 3000th hit because he is coming up in the bottom of the first. AJ Hinch changed his lineup so that Miggy was batting third to guarantee he would come up in the first and have more at bats potentially throughout the day, just to make sure he got it done. So I was kind of freaked out that we were sitting in traffic for so long, but eventually we got there. I was also very well prepared to be disappointed as I was last summer. It was an excruciating event. It was probably the Tigers' worst game of the second of the last 5 months of the season. They looked like they did last April, essentially, in the game I was at. Somehow that was the complete opposite experience for this past Saturday, as Tigers immediately had a runner on, and Miggy came up third, got his hit on, I think, the second pitch of the at bat. It was just already over. The entire stadium goes nuts. I did not capture a good photo of the moment because I'm conflicted with that. Like, when you're living history, are you living history or are you living on your phone? I don't know. You try to film things while you might be seeing history, or I know you do concerts. You've posted some concert footage, but
yeah,
that's a brief moment.
Yeah, that's like I'll film them maybe like 30 seconds of a song or something, but I don't like to I like to just enjoy the show or whatever.
That's so different than,
living the moment. I mean, the thing about it is, it's cool, like, if you're able to get something that you're not going to be able to get through the MLB app or something. Yeah. But nowadays, I think if the phone technology, when you first were able to take like photos on your phone and stuff like that before like MLB had launched its apps and all that, that's a little bit of a different story. But yeah. I'm for you, like, I get it, like, and generally for me, like, it would just be like, well, what is really going to come out of me doing whatever? Is anyone even going to really know what it is?
I kind of felt like I had some weird responsibility to the podcast to have some live footage of it. But
I mean, that is why I do some stuff at the ballpark sometimes, only because of the podcast at this point. And and then, if I'm there with my kids, that's a different story. But yeah,
we didn't have particularly good seats, so it wasn't going to be great footage anyway. And but it ended up being cool as hell. Miggy became the 33rd member of the 3,000 hit club. He is the 7th member of the 3,500 home run club. He is the 3rd member of the 3,000 hit 500 home run, who is batting over career lifetime batting average is over 300, joining none other than Hank Aaron and Willie Mays, of all people.
Those guys any good?
Yeah, they're kind of good.
You think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer? Though?
Yeah, we'll revisit the conversation with John Kruk. I don't even think it was him. It was his partner. I think
it was his partner. Kruk. No, his partner didn't ask him it. His partner said that he had actually heard that some people thought that it was questionable if he was a first round.
Jesus Christ, people!
And that's a Kruk lost his mind.
The Comerica Park was beautiful. The other part of this is it was 78 degrees in Detroit.
Nice. That's right. It was very warm last Saturday. It was excellent weather.
The best day of 2022 so far, easily. It was absolutely gorgeous. Everything worked out perfect. The weirdest thing about it, though, is since there was the rain out the night before, the Tigers tried to do their fans as much justice as they could. They offered any fans that had tickets to that Friday night game that got rained out 50% off seats, or maybe they're offering standing room. They gave them some kind of deal, but whatever happened, all I know is there were more standing room seats than I've ever seen in my life. I've been to plenty of games. I've been to small stadiums. I've been to big stadiums. I've been to Sox Park. Obviously been to Wrigley with small concourses, large concourses. Comerica Park has a pretty big ass concourse. It's a wide, long, very wide area. It's not cramped at all. You couldn't go anywhere. The lines were obnoxious. There were so many people. I think they didn't sell seats because they couldn't double sell the seats, obviously. So right. I think a ton of people bought standing room only tickets. So it didn't look overcrowded if you're watching TV, but if you were at the ballpark, it was insanely crowded. Maybe 2 innings after the Tigers, after Miggy hit, got his 3,000th hit. They were already up 3-0. I think in the first inning they're up 6-0 after 2, and then it was just a laugher after that. They ended up winning 13-0 on 20 hits. It was just a beautiful experience. There was I was not nervous for 1 minute. We weren't sitting there all day hoping he was going to get his hit. We weren't worried that they're going to blow a lead or lose the game somehow and kind of sour the moment. It was just a blowout. It was hilarious. But the one drawback was I spent, I think, an hour and a half trying to get a fucking hot dog.
Oh yes. Yes.
That's the other reason.
The new ballpark sucks sometimes.
Well, it's literally because the concourse was just that packed and just people were just waiting. Everyone was in line. There was just so many fucking people out there. It was ridiculous. So, but I didn't miss much. I saw what I needed to see. I was listening to everything on my headphones, and they have TVs around, so I knew what was going on the whole time. I was able to take a snapshot from the concourse, the backside of the famous the countdown sign. We see 3,500. Now it's 3,004, I think, and 502 home runs. I took a picture from the backside of that to prove I was there. Very cool thing they've got set up. It's kind of stanchioned off. It's like a photo op for everybody. I took some pictures of it last summer when it was at $4.99, but now I've got my own 3,502 photo. So I might make some T-shirts out of that one too. But
what do you eat at the Tigers game?
Hot dog, mustard.
That's it. No grilled onions or anything. What do they do in there?
They do all that, but I kind of don't trust them to do it the same way that the Sox Park aficionados would do with a real Polish sausage. I am a novice. I've only been to Comerica Park 4 times in my life now, 2 in the last year. So I'm not an expert. And like this time, I had no time to experiment with food. I just went with what I had the last time I was there. So maybe I'll get deeper into the cuisine of Comerica Park. Of course, they're owned by pizza magnate, the Illich family. So, but I don't think I'm going to be loading up on Little Caesars pizza.
I was going to ask. I thought that was the obvious pizza they would be serving, but then I thought maybe by some luck they had brought in like a Jets or something like that, or something local, or even not Jets, but like a local Detroit pizza there.
Well, Jets would work, but I don't think they would like that there necessarily.
Yeah, right, exactly.
What I've heard is Euros are supposed to be the big thing. There's supposed to be a fancy Euro place there.
Ooh.
I'll check. I do like Euros, so I'll check that out at some point on my travels. But
Word Hole Media.